We had no idea how to accomplish our goals. We knew from our experiences what we knew needed to change. It was a lot of trial and error to figure out how we could make these changes. We could put products on a shelf, but the actual changes had to happen behind the scenes.
Hello, I'm John McDonald, and this is a reflection on the Equity Alliance at WeaverStreetMarket, and how it got started. So, when I think about the beginning of the Alliance, it happened right after George Floyd was murdered. And this time, I was the chair of the board at WeaverStreetMarket, and so obviously George Floyd's murder was a huge event that the board and WeaverStreet in general wanted to react to and be present about. But obviously, it sort of took over kind of the zeitgeist and society in general, and it made us all kind of reconsider the role that us as individuals and institutions had played in systemic racism, in our lives and in our work settings and things like that. And so obviously this was happening for me personally and for the board and for all of our workers at Weaver Street, and specifically a group of Black workers rose up and started demanding action from our co-op, that we needed to be a better agent for equity in our community. From the work that was started getting done internally at Weaver Street, was we hired a DEI, a diversity, equity, and inclusion consultant, LaDonna, and from Minneapolis, and we hired her on for a 2-year contract, which has been extremely invaluable. She's she's worked very deeply with our staff. It's more than just a couple trainings like some corporate DEI projects would look like. She's become very involved with our group. She met specifically with the Alliance and trained them and listened to them, and then also met with our all of our staff and did trainings, and has worked closely with managers and created project groups, and with Adam, and working with our administration, HR, and marketing and merchandising, and is now working with our board as well. So all up and down the entire co-op, she's bringing some expertise to help us make real systemic change in how we can operate to be more equitable. And I think that's going to be, that's really set our foot on the right path toward, making some real change in our co-op, which then, we believe it can be an agent of change in our community as well. But the Alliance has done a lot of work on their own as well. The most visible result of their work is just getting more products on our shelves from Black producers. And this was more than just identifying products. There was a big trust issue with Weaver Street, and there still is probably in a lot of ways, a big trust issue between members of the Black communities and our co-op. And so, having this group of Black workers go out and say, hey, trust us. We really want to work with you. We want to create a partnership. We want to avoid tokenism. We want to make this a long-term relationship, has been really, really important. And I think has really set a foundation for us to grow those partnerships and create new ones into the future.
So the mission of Gracefully Rooted is to help create a self-sustaining community by taking food and produce from our farmers and making it easy for our customers at the market to local food to their fridge. The partnership started with actually the vision of trying to figure out how we could better sustain the market. We do a lot for creating space and making sure customers come to support farmers. We came up with the idea of creating a food line. We actually didn't even shop the idea. Weaver Street came to us and we pitched it to them and they were on board and that's kind of how it started.